Hello, students. Today's art project is going to be based off the book Crazy Hair Day. Before we start our art project, we're going to listen to the story Crazy Hair Day. We're going to discuss the different kinds of lines we'll be using to create our crazy hair, and then we're going to also create the project together. Let's go.
Crazy Hair Day. Published by Candlewick Press. Copyright 2003. Crazy Hair Day by Barney Salzberg. Stanley Birdbaum woke up early. Bald Eagle Elementary School was celebrating Crazy Hair Day, and Stanley couldn't wait. They had celebrated Pajama Day, Twin Day, and 60s Day. Stanley's favorite was Twin Day because he and his best friend, Larry Finchfeather, had worn exactly the same thing. Stanley was ready. He had rubber bands, he had styling gel, and to make his hair perfect, Stanley had 2 cans of Halloween hairspray. Stanley's mother knew just what to do. She wrapped, she dipped, and to make his hair perfect, she sprayed Stanley's hair bright orange and blue. "Ta-da!" said Stanley. "I am a work of art." "You are going to be late if you don't hurry," said his mother. Stanley rolled the rubber bands in his hair. He gently tapped the tops of his spikes. "This," he said, "is going to be a day I will never forget." "I bet Larry Finchfeather and I will have the craziest hair in the whole school," Stanley thought. As he walked toward the classroom, he heard his teacher talking. "And remember," Mr. Wenger said, "Crazy Hair Day is—" "next Friday." Everybody stopped. Everybody stared. Stanley felt sick. Larry Finchfeather said, "Is that a hair do or a hair don't?" Everybody laughed. Stanley ran to the bathroom. A few minutes later, Stanley heard someone come in. "It's me, Larry Finchfeather." "The Larry Finchfeather who just made fun of me in front of the whole class?" asked Stanley. "I was only teasing," said Larry. "Some days you tease me too much," said Stanley. "Mr. Wenger said he wants me to try to be a peacemaker instead of a troublemaker," said Larry. "I'm supposed to bring you back to class." "I'm not going," said Stanley. "If you stay in here, you'll miss being in the class picture," said Larry. "I thought that was next Friday," said Stanley. "Crazy Hair Day is next Friday," Larry said. "Today is School Picture Day." Stanley rolled the rubber bands in his hair. He gently tapped the tops of his spikes. "This," he said, "is going to be a day I will never forget." Larry Finchfeather suggested that Stanley try washing his hair in the sink. "It won't help," said Stanley. "Halloween hair color lasts for days." "Well, it really doesn't matter. It's only your hair," Larry told him. "If you don't come out of here by the time math is over, I'm coming to get you. You can't stay here all day." It was very quiet after Larry Finchfeather left, and Stanley wondered if maybe he could spend all day in the bathroom. He ate his lunch. He drew pictures. He even timed himself to see how fast he could flush all the toilets. 32.5 seconds, he shouted. "A new world record by me, Stanley Birdbaum." Stanley had counted up to 121, 122, 123 drops of water from a leaky faucet when Larry Finchfeather came back. "Beep! Time's up! Let's go!" Larry announced. "Picture time!" "If I'm in it, I'll look like the class weirdo," said Stanley. "Remember 60's Day when Mr. Winger had the flu but came in anyway?" said Larry. "He said the day wouldn't be the same if we weren't all together. You have to come. I'll give you 5 minutes." Larry Finchfeather left, and Stanley Birdbaum thought about 60's Day, when Mr. Winger had taught them all those great old songs. He remembered how on Pajama Day everyone in his class had worn PJs and slippers. Then Stanley imagined what his class picture would look like without him. He decided to go back to class. To keep from being nervous, Stanley made up a song. Crazy hair, how I wish it wasn't there. Stanley felt someone touch his shoulder. "I was just coming to get you," said Larry Finchfeather. "What if they laugh at me again?" asked Stanley. "Everything will be fine," Larry whispered. "I promise." Stanley stood in front of his class. Everybody stopped. Everybody stared. Stanley rolled the rubber bands in his hair. He gently tapped the tops of his spikes. "This," he said, "is going to be a day I will never forget."
To create our Crazy Hair Day art project, we will be using different kinds of lines. We will be using straight lines, diagonal lines, curly lines, curved lines, wavy lines, zigzag lines. Let's begin. To create our Crazy Hair Day art project, you'll need white paper. You can use any type of coloring utensils you have. Miss Charles has a mix of markers, permanent markers, color pencils. So whatever you have to decorate your Crazy Hair Day project, that's what you can use. It doesn't matter. And then you could use a pencil, but Miss Charles is just going to use a black Sharpie to start us off with. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to use a curved line, and we're going to make the letter U. So we're going to start in the middle of the paper, and we're going to make our letter U. The letter U will represent our Crazy Hair Day face. The next step we're going to do is we're going to draw the neck, which we're going to draw 2 straight lines. After that, we're going to use another line, a curved line, but we're going to make it upside down. So we're going to make it an upside down U, and that's going to be the body. Now, for the features of the face, again, we're going to use a curved line for the mouth, a curved line for the nose, and then for our eyes, we're going to use 2 circles. We're going to color in our circles. And then we're going to use the curved line again to create our eyebrows. Looks like the upside down U again, or a sideways C. Now, we finished our face, so now it's time to start in our crazy hair. So again, before I mentioned we're going to be using different kinds of lines. Again, we're going to be using zigzag, curly, curved, wavy, and diagonal. So I'm just going to use any kind of different color markers I have, and I'm going to start creating my Crazy Hair Day picture. So for here, I'm going to start at the simple, and I'm going to use curly lines. So again, you could use whatever lines you want. This is your creation. Here I'm going to use wavy lines. I'm going to add some wavy lines here because again, we have to make sure that our hair is as crazy as we can make it. How about some zigzag lines down here? Oh, my purple doesn't work. Hold on. Let me see if this one works. So we're going to use some zigzag lines here. And I'm going to add some more up here. And maybe some right here too. So again, you could use whatever coloring utensils you have. Let me see. Let's do some diagonal lines. And now we're going to use some straight lines here. And how about some more diagonal lines over here? So we're just trying to get as crazy as we can using different colors. I'm going to do some more curly lines. And the reason I think I chose this book is because due to the COVID-19, I know from Miss Charles, we haven't had a chance to really get my hair done. And so sometimes, you know, I wear my wrap because Miss Charles has been having crazy hair days. So then I thought this would be a great art project to do a crazy hair day picture. using different kinds of lines. So here it is. So again, we're just going to keep building upon our crazy hair, again, using different kinds of lines. And again, it's how you want to create your picture. Michelle's just trying to add color wherever I can. And then if you want, you can start using your markers to kind of color it in. Let's see. Okay. Mm. Now that our crazy hair is done, the only thing left that we have to do is color in our shirt. Now I don't want you to put any designs in the shirt only because our crazy hair is doing enough. So I want you to choose one color that you like, any color can be, and you're going to take that color Uh-oh, I forgot this doesn't work. You're going to take that color and you're going to color in your shirt. And now you have completed your crazy hair. And again, your crazy hair could be anything you want it to look like using different kinds of lines. And notice that Miss Charles has two Crazy Hair Day art projects that look totally different. So again, it's your creation. Remember to use all the different lines that we went through to create your Crazy Hair Day art project. Have fun!